Patriots won 51-13. No? Yeah, 51-13. And let's talk about that win. What it did to our team.
Man, it was just a great total win. You know, defense gave up 1 touchdown total. Special teams was awesome. I just thought we, on offense, clicked on all cylinders. And I felt like we just executed well on all 3 phases of the game. And, for us to kind of been, putting through the last few weeks, it was just great to see our kids kind of put it together. It was really fun. And it just kind of shows you the potential of what we can do. And the good news is, as I told our kids after the game, we're going to enjoy it. So pumped about how well we played, but I think our ceiling is still even higher. And so we've been trying to get better these last few weeks, and I think we have. And so we're just looking forward to seeing how this team can even get better each and every week.
Well, they have some pretty big defensive linemen. The Maddox kid, whose dad played in the NFL, his brother now is at Ole Miss. But a big test of this game was, we were talking about ball out, and the way our offensive line was going to go that night was kind of the way we were going to go, giving Samuel protection, and then giving him, open up those running lanes was one of the big things too. Can we create those running lanes? And let's talk about the O-line, how each week they're getting better and better and better, and they're kind of hitting their stride when we go into conference play. Just talk about your O-line and how much they've matured over the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. They had to give us a chance, and they did. And man, it was just, it wasn't pretty at times, but the thing I loved about those guys is they blocked the right people, and they fought tooth and nail against a really, really good defensive front. I mean, you talk about some guys that are very, very talented, as you say. They'll probably have 2 more Division I offers on that defensive front before they graduate. So, we really probably played 3 potentially Division I guys, probably 2 of them SEC guys up front, and our guys just fought tooth and nail to give us a chance to bang it in there on a few run yards and give us a chance to throw it. And, that combined with us having a good job, doing a good job with Samuel, getting rid of the ball on time, making some good pre-snap reads so he can get the ball out on time. And, our big deal was, could we get the ball out in 2.1 seconds at the least? And boy, if we'd held on to it for 2.3 or 2.4, it would have been tough. So, but that's going to be the case down the road some for a few games too. So I think this game really prepared us, and yet we are getting better, and it's good to see that group get better because we talked about it coming into the season. That's probably the most inexperienced group, and but their work ethic's starting to put together every week. Really good to see.
Well, you talk about a tale of 2 tapes, so I want to go back in time to when we played Pulaski versus your defense now when they faced an Oak Grove team who stretched us vertically, but yet linebackers came up and made plays. Talk about the defense, the difference your defense has of the Pulaski game, playing a high-powered offense, they beat West Monroe 67-47 the week after they played us. So that's not one of those run-of-the-road Pulaski teams. They're in it for the hunt for the 7A in Arkansas. But look at how your defense kind of accepted the challenge and how they've matured, they've grown into a leadership role of kind of like, hey, this is a staple win for us. What about your defense?
Well, it was really easy to see that night they were not happy, and the next week, and those guys, they just come to work. They didn't like it. They didn't like what happened, and you got 2 choices, and they chose to get better. And I think we were on a mission that night to prove that we could play really good defense. And man, I'll tell you what, we stopped the run. -6 yards rushing on the night. I mean, I'd have lost my whole house if I bet on that. And so -6 yards rushing. I think they had -35 at half.
Yeah.
And so tremendous job. If you can stop the run, you got a chance.
Right.
We did. And then man, how about those DBs locking down? So they did a great job covering, and just an overall great night for those guys.
And then I'm going to flip it to, you talked about Samuel already, we talked about the offensive line. Let's talk about that offense in general, that skill position. You threw for 6 touchdowns. And I remember Philip Short came to the sideline and he was like, man, you're going after my record for 593. He's like, wait, I've only hit like 410, and the game was over after the first play or second play of the second half. Let's talk about the offense and how those guys, the receivers being in the system, you know, 2 of those guys have started as freshmen in the state championship game. Now they've been in the system, they got it going, and you know, Samuel was in the junior high system, so it's one of those things that you're seeing it come to fruition right now. But let's talk about the offensive side, those skill guys starting to gel together down the stretch. I mean, 498 yards was a lot of offense and 6 touchdowns that night. So let's talk about the offensive skill.
Yeah, well, you know, we knew they were going to challenge us and play man-to-man, and we feel good about our skill guys. And the thing about it with us is, you know, heck, it's just not 1 or 2 guys, even though we do have some elite guys, but we feel like we can put 5 guys out there like we did at times and find the right matchups. You know, one of the things we also did was we got the ball to our backs. Our backs caught 9 balls that night. We matched them up on our linebackers. So being able to find the right matchups, and then most importantly, our guys just executed. They got open, we protected, we got them the ball. It was a great team effort to get it done, and it just goes to show you, man, when we do things right, how explosive we can be.
That's right. Well, that's going to do it for our first session of Hey Coach. We have 3 guests in the house tonight. We'll have one coming right back at you, but you are listening to Hey Coach live from Walk-Ons. We'll be back in a minute.
Gumbo is a quintessential Louisiana dish, right? Our gumbo's just got tremendous flavor. It's about quality. If you skip any part of the process, you'll definitely get called out for it, and we just don't do that. Of course, we have salt and pepper shakers on every table, but rarely do we see someone pick them up. If you're gonna do a gumbo, you better do it the right way.
You got a tackle out there. It's killing us.
I'm trying, Coach. Who is that guy? He moves. He moves like water.
He is water. He's the best dang football playing roof leak in the state.
But I can't stop him.
Of course you can't. You know nothing about roofing. So get out there and do your job.
Your smile. It's how you share your truest feelings, your dreams, yourself with the world. And at the Winning Smile, your smile is our passion. That's why we offer in-house financing options, convenient appointment times, and personalized treatment plans to help keep you healthy and discover your confidence to unleash your best smile. Learn more at thewinningsmile.com.
And we're back here live at Hey Coach live from Walk-Ons. I have a junior wide receiver, Case Thomas, with me, a guy that we had talked about. Getting some love. Gotta love that. A guy that played, we had just mentioned, played in that state championship game and kind of has been in the system and matured into that. You were the one that caught the first touchdown against Oak Grove last year on a flea flicker. Kind of opened up the game for that one and let them know that, hey, you're in a little dogfight right here. And let's just talk about being in the system, like how much it helps you playing that early, and now you're one of the main receivers that we have.
So when I moved up in, I guess, 9th grade, I was a little nervous. And now, like, in 10th grade, I got more comfortable because I started starting a lot of games, and I guess the other people around me started making me feel more comfortable around them. and I just started playing and stopped like thinking a lot, and like I just played. So that really helped me from 9th grade till now.
Well, I think a big part is you've had 2 wide receiver coaches. The one that you have right now who played in the NFL has helped you kind of put the tools in your toolbox with all the releases and all that kind of stuff. What's it been like? You train with him and now he coaches you on all through the week and on Friday nights.
Well, I'll start off by saying, I guess before our 10th grade season, I was like, I want to start getting better at wide receiver and like better with my craft. So I was like, all right. So we went to Mike or Coach Espy, and he really started helping me like get off releases or have releases and know what to do when people are playing different positions and stuff like on you. And so that's really helped me. And now he's at MRA, so I get to see him every day and get to work with him every day.
So how important is it to have like the tools in your toolbox, like when you see off man? And then my second part to this question is, what's your 2 favorite routes to run?
All right. What was the first one?
The toolbox. Like, what's
Oh,
it
yeah.
like having all those tools in your toolbox?
So I guess whenever like you got to have a plan whenever you go up to like the line, you got to know like what you're finna do, because you can't just go and then try to figure out right before you do it. So mine is I'll see where this guy's playing, and in my head I already know what I'm gonna do, because I've been working on like what to do and where he's gonna be at and where I'm gonna be at. So I know what I'm about to do. So that's really helped. And then I would say my favorite routes, I go number 1 with our deep route, our choice routes. It's got to be number 1. And then I would say number 2, I really like to run the dig. I feel like I can get across the field really good. So I like running the dig.
I'm gonna say this: the one that I saw in the Heritage game, and you'll remember this as soon as I say it. When you're in the boundary running the glance, and you set the guy up outside, and you want inside. It's one of those things. And I saw Coach Espy. There's a picture of him like going crazy because that's what you've worked on. And on that glance post, getting the guy set up and go inside and scored a touchdown. So those are good. Yeah, it's kind of a compliment to the dig of having to set that guy up.
That's right.
So, what about this win versus Oak Grove with this team? So we've had some big wins in program history. You've been a part of some of those wins, but what was it like for you as a player to lose that game last year like we did, and to come back and then do what we did last Friday night?
So I'd say last year, nobody really thought we were about to come out and do what we did. So whenever we started putting up points, I was like, all right, we can do this. So we went out, and then we ended up at the end of the game losing by 1 point. So that really kind of hurt us, because at the end of the game, we're like, we can win this. And so now coming in this year, we're like, we got to get back. So we did our thing this time, and we got the W.
My last question to you before we take a break: what's it like playing at home? We'll play at home this Friday night versus East Rankin. It'll be senior night. But what's it like, the atmosphere, which I know it was electric, the little light show that they did right before the 4th quarter? I was like, I've never even seen that before. So there's some cool things. What's it like playing in front of the home crowd?
I mean, it's been great. I mean, all of our fans are really supportive. Our Pat gang's supportive. And we just I have all the tents in the background, so when we score, we can like see everybody celebrating. I mean, it's great. And having like all the little kids running around, I mean, it's awesome.
Last question. If you could do an end zone dance when you score a touchdown, if you could do one, what would it be? Because I saw a bunch of them tonight in 2nd grade football.
Oh, yeah.
There was a bunch of them. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a receiver on tonight. Let me ask him. What would be your go-to?
I'd say if I wasn't gonna get a flag, I'd probably spin the ball right when I get to the end zone, and I'd probably agree until I got out.
Awesome. That is Case Thomas, starting wide receiver number 2 for MRA. Stay tuned. We got another guest coming up on the offensive line. This is Hey Coach, live from Walk-Ons.
From small-town courtrooms to the Mississippi Supreme Court, our attorneys have over 60 years' experience litigating cases all across Mississippi. The odds say you'll need an attorney at some point, and when you do, you can have the home field advantage with your hometown lawyers right around the corner from MRA. Gladden and Ingram, attorneys at law.
quality, integrity, and excellence. Kincaid's Fine Clothing, Old Town Square, Ridgeland.
Motion is what connects us to our world, to each other, and us. We were born to keep you in motion, however you decide to do so.
We carry a wide variety of Continental passenger and light truck SUV tires. Take to the road with confidence and install Continental brand tires on your vehicle today.
Tire Pros. Love the drive.
Ely's is a proud sponsor of MRA Patriot Athletics. Come try our USDA Prime New York Strip, bone-in filet, New England scallops, or sauteed Gulf crab claws. Ely's also offers an extensive wine list and bar selections. Ely's, upstairs on Jackson Street in Ridgeland. Good luck, Patriots. And welcome back to Hey Coach Live from Walk-Ons. I said I was going to have 3 guests. We're only going to have 2 tonight. Jack Willis won't be able to make it. He had something come up. However, we do have the guy that makes everything go. It has to happen through him is Blaine Williams, our starting senior center. So here's my question to you, because I'm always intrigued with inside run, and y'all do all that pass pro blocking, you do all the run blocking. How nerve-wracking is it knowing that every play has to go through you? From the snap to the call, I mean, you got to make certain calls on the line. Do you embrace that, or you're like, wow, this is kind of nerve-wracking?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, when I first moved up, it was really nerve-wracking finding out like I was the person that has to make all the calls, and you know, everybody's kind of like counting on me to be there to do that. But you know, now that I've finally like had some years under my belt and I've gotten experience in the program, now I just know to like trust what the coaches give us, and you know, trust that scheme, and I trust that, you know, if I make the right calls, I've got the guys next to me that are going to do what they're supposed to do. So now I've just got a lot more trust in myself, but I've also got more trust in the people around me. So it's just made it a whole lot easier embracing that.
Let's talk about this Oak Grove game. And they had some pretty big dudes. And I mean, so did Pulaski, so did a lot of people that were going to play. They're going to have big dudes. What goes through your mind when you watch film? What do you look for on the D-line? And I mean, you got to look at linebackers. So that's the second part of this whole thing is you got D-line, you got to get to linebackers. I mean, if I've heard it once, I've heard it probably 1,000 times, like, got to get to the mic, right? So I know there's a lot of pressure. My biggest thing is, like, how do you prepare yourself in film? I know y'all watch a lot of film with Coach Williams. What do you prepare, like, how do you go through when you're watching it by yourself? What do you prepare for versus like a 3-3, a 4-2, stuff like that?
So the number one thing I'm looking for when I'm watching film on my own is like the moves that the guys I'm going to be going against are going to be making. So that's the first thing I try to, like, I guess, digest is what moves they're going to be making, because that's going to be like important for me to prepare for and know like what to expect in practice the week before. And then when it comes to like linebackers and all that, just kind of seeing like what their difference in, like, say a 3-3 or a 3-4, like where the backers are fitting. Just that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm watching film on my own.
I'm going to talk about our tempo a little bit. A lot of people know that we go fast, and all 11 of you have to get set really fast. What is it like playing in a type of offense that we run where there's a lot of tempo, where tempo is, you know, for one, people think it's really fast. Coach Davis likes to think like we control the pace of the game. Like if he wants to slow down, he just doesn't send the play in. If he wants to play real fast, he'll send it in real fast. What's it like playing in that style of offense?
Honestly, I love the tempo. Like I really, really love it because, you know, obviously I'm not the biggest O-lineman in the world. So it feels nice knowing that the coaches have something in place to, you know, like counter that. And I mean, you can watch me in the games. You'll see me. I'm running down there with the receivers sometimes. You know, I like getting down and getting on the ball and let's go. You know, I don't like waiting around.
Well, I'm gonna pose the same kind of question that I did to Case with you. You've been in the program. You've seen a lot. What did that win do to not just your group on the offensive line, but the whole team. But you can start off with the offensive line, like being the guys that have to get this thing. You got to be the catapult that kind of get the team going. Because if you have a bad snap, or you give up a snack or a sack, or if there's like a -2 rushing or whatever, it starts with y'all. What has that game against that type of opponent done for y'all going forward into the bye week?
It just kind of gave the O-line a chance to prove that we can do it. And, obviously they're a very talented team. So it felt really good being able to, win that game. But I think it all just comes back to, we've still got more of the season left. We've still got more to do. So it proved that we're capable, but we're not done yet. We still got things that we can fix. There were still mistakes that were made. And so, just getting back in practice, we have that belief in ourselves now, but we just got to get better.
I'm going to ask you this question because y'all don't score a lot of touchdowns. But if you ever did score a touchdown and there was no flag, you're like, look, we're going to throw the flags away. You're going to score a touchdown. So say somebody fumbles in the end zone, and kind of like Ole Miss in Kentucky, right? The guy gets it and goes in the end zone. If you ever were to score a touchdown, what would be your touchdown celebration?
Well, like you said, I don't really get the chance to score a touchdown. So if I do score one, I'm going to have to go crazy and hit like the worm or something like that. People got to know I'm there, right? I just scored a touchdown. So I'd have to go a little crazy like that.
Last thing, we just got through with a bye week, last week. What does that do to our team? Like, I know some coaches like bye weeks, some coaches don't. I think this one fell right at the right time with the first half of the season coming off a huge win. There's always that trap game that people say with Coach Davis. There's never a trap game. He's never going to allow a trap game.
Right.
But what did the bye week do just to kind of reset the batteries?
Well, it kind of just goes back to what I was just talking about a second ago. It doesn't matter, get better. We have a bye game or a bye week this week, but it doesn't matter. We still got to get better. We still got games that are going to be big games. Like we don't have an opponent this week or this past week. We didn't have an opponent, but we still got to work on things. We still made mistakes in the Oak Grove game, and we still had things to fix. And we were given that chance to tone in on the fundamentals.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be it for Blaine. We're going to come back with Coach Davis. And speaking of last week, we did have Players of the Week, and the one I have to mention now is the Lee Hawkins Realty Offensive Lineman of the Week. It was to the whole offensive line, if you saw that. So congratulations to the whole offensive line for being the special teams Players of the Week. We'll be back with Coach Davis with some final thoughts about East Rankin. Stay tuned to Hey Coach, live from Walk-Ons.
At Uptown Dental, located in the township on Highland Colony, their passion is helping patients look and feel their best. Dr. Michelle Cruz and Dr. Claire Greiner are dedicated to creating an experience that is pleasant, comfortable, and pain-free. Their state-of-the-art facility welcomes patients into a spa-like atmosphere. Uptown Dental has the latest dental treatments and most cutting-edge technology available. From 3D cone beam imaging, digital x-rays, digital impressions, Invisalign orthodontic treatment, and so much more, at Uptown Dental, they pride themselves on staying on top of the constant changes in dentistry.
You made a promise to teach, to provide, to make time, to play, to protect, to give every opportunity. You made a promise, and we're here to help you keep it. Bank Plus, it's more than a name, it's a promise.
Hey MRA Pats! Did you know that there's no need to go out of the way for your next family take-home meal? We got you covered at Fleetway Market in Gluckstadt. Our state-of-the-art smoker makes the best smoked brisket, chicken, pulled pork, and ribs on this side of the Mississippi. So let us fuel you up next time you pick up. Fleetway is so proud to support our hometown MRA Pats.
What we're doing is cutting some of the boneless off the tenders. It doesn't just come from a pre-cut tender and this, that, and the other. Aside from whether it's fried, grilled, whatever, you have kind of a firm, tough texture when it's frozen. And when it's fresh, it's a lot more tender. It's a lot easier to chew through.
I don't like wings to be frozen. I don't know when the hell you're frozen.
You want that crunch, but still that wetness from the sauce. You just have the tossed wings in a clean bowl.
Every plate is a love letter. Send a love letter. Let the guests know you love them.
And we're back here live at Walk-Ons for Hey Coach. In our last segment, we're going to dive into our opponent this week. We're going to play another team that has the last name of Patriots. We'll do that 2 times in the next 3 weeks. But what I want to get back to, and you heard Blaine and you heard Case, but our offensive scheme, how we talked about tempo, you talked about, there's a scheme that goes along with it. We can call a play, we can direct this, we can coach this, but you got to have players. And I'm not just talking about smart ones. They got to be talented in that regard. So talk about your team from top to bottom of just how they've embraced, the work ethic that you demand, the discipline that you demand, but also to be point blank, there's some dudes that play for us.
Yeah, well, our staff does a tremendous job, and we do some high tech stuff, you would say, for high school. But what makes it great, what makes it go, is the players.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to coach these guys. We got a lot of potential. Again, I think we still haven't about reached our potential. Maybe that's just the coach talking, but I really believe that, and I believe we're going to need to reach that to get it. But when you got guys that have a lot of potential like we got, it makes it fun coaching, where you can kind of put guys in a position to make plays, and it was just fun seeing them do that last Friday night.
Absolutely. Well, I go back to, and the word that you use all the time, and it's in your office, the word believe. And I think a lot of times when they start seeing the fruits of their labor from the hard work that they've put in, they start believing that they can do things greater than themselves. Like they go into the system, yes, there are calls that are played, plays that are called, there are things that are in the system. But you heard Blaine that it's a doesn't matter, get better mentality, which is great. You win, doesn't matter, get better. You lose, doesn't matter, get better. You're going to go always back to work. But I think about that word with you is believe. And seeing our guys, 5-1 into the bye week last week, and then we head into East Rankin this week. Just the belief that they've come into practice with. It's an ebbs and flows, but I think yesterday was probably one of the best practices. It's crisp and everything going around. But let's talk about East Rankin. They're going to come to Old Kent Road this Friday night. We got another home game, which is awesome. I mean, we love playing in front of our home crowd. What are some things that you're looking for from your team? Because it's always, you said it twice in the last 2 weeks. It's not about the other teams that we're playing. It's about us. What are some things that you're looking for going into this week from your MRA Patriots?
Well, Blaine alluded to it. When you watch the film, we got a lot of things we can get better at. And so we want to kind of continue each and every week to see those mistakes get less and less. We want to see our fundamentals get better and better. And, if we can continue to do that, then obviously, we got some big games coming down the road. We want to be ready to play our best against those teams.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a big test for us. You got not looking ahead, but, you got conference play coming down the road, and it's 3 of them back to back to back to back. 4 of them. So you're at home and you're on the road against 2, and then you're back home again. Just the overall investment of your team. It's a grind. It really is. When you start looking at, we started in May on the field with spring, but you go back even further, January, and you're at the midway point of your season. What kind of keeps you going? The players have practice day in, day out. You're watching film. You have meetings. You get to do Hey Coach with me. There's a lot of things that go. What keeps you going during the season?
I think it's best said, I hate losing more than I love winning. I just, we've been close the last 2 years. You can call it what you want. Bottom line, we didn't win it. But I thought we had the team to potentially do it the last 2 years. So, things got to go the right way. You got to stay healthy. You got to get better. You got to make big time plays. So all that thing's got to happen. I always said you got to be well coached. You got to stay healthy. You got to have a little luck. And you got to be good. you know, and all those things will have to come together the next few weeks for us to make the run that we want to. But I really, truly, I told you from the get-go, I believe this team has that opportunity to do it if we'll just continue to believe, continue to work, not rest on our laurels. I mean, won a big game, you know, really hadn't won anything yet. You know, I hadn't seen a blue trophy yet.
Right.
So we'll just keep that mentality and keep working and enjoy the process that we talked about all summer. How can we get better?
Yeah.
You know, just come to work every day. How can we get better? How can we get better?
Right.
And, you know, if we do that, then we're going to give ourselves a chance.
Yeah. Last thing before we go, it's senior night here on Old Canton Road. Talk about these seniors and what they've meant to the program. Just from a leadership standpoint, I've seen it over the last 3 weeks of them kind of grabbing hold of the team, which it takes time to be a leader, right? Everybody, all coaches say you got to be a leader, you got to be a leader. Well, I think you also have to be taught how to be a leader, and that's what our coaching staff and even our younger players have like helped these seniors like understand what it means to be in a leadership role. So talk about the senior class before we go tonight.
Oh yeah, man, they've been fun. It's you can tell they really want to win this thing. So I just think it's an unselfish group that is kind of bringing everybody together, and you know, we can continue to do that and do the things we just got through talking about. You know, it'd be a great group. I'd love to see win it because it's a good group of guys.
Well, that's going to do it for episode 7 of Hey Coach. Thank you to everybody who is in walk-ons tonight for coming. Thank you to Case. Thank you to Blaine for joining us tonight. And the many other guests that are here. Coach Kershaw from Mississippi College is right over there hiding out. Thanks for joining us for Hey Coach. Stay tuned for this Friday night. It's going to be the Patriots versus the Patriots of East Rankin. It is senior night, so festivities will start at 6:25. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. So we'll see you Friday night live from Patriot Field on Old Canton Road. Good night from Walk On.